Okay, so I think we'll get going here. So welcome to day 2 of the conference, day 3 for those of us who are on the short course on Sunday. I'm glad to see you all here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this. I've found this conference to be. Somebody this morning mentioned that this is kind of the perfect size conference because there's a lot of one-on-one interactions, and I personally really enjoyed that. I've also enjoyed, the talks have been good. They've been technically really good, but they've also been the kind of talks that spurred conversation. And for me, sometimes those one-on-one or small group conversations during breaks and at the end of the day are often the most valuable part. And I've really appreciated that. And for those of you that have shared some of your time with me, I appreciate that. And I appreciate your contributions overall to the conference. I also found the venue last night up at the Mackey Mining Museum to be just wonderful. What a great way to wind up the day yesterday. What a fantastic facility, from the nice assortment of stacks to the fantastic Argentine Malbec to the wonderful museum and facility. I hope you took advantage of that. Not an opportunity that comes often. And I also thank the School of Mines, formerly School of Mines, School of Environment and Earth Sciences now, and to UNR for hosting us on that. I also have special appreciation since University of Nevada, Reno is my alma mater. So it was nice to go there and then come home without a homework assignment. So that was a good change. So as co-chair of the conference with Dirk Van Ziel, and I also want to thank Dirk, this conference, the resurrection of these heap leach solution conferences was Dirk's brainchild. And I was honored that Dirk invited me to be his co-chair. Dirk has been an important figure for nearly all of my career. He's a good friend and he's been a fantastic mentor. And I just wanted a personal thanks to Dirk. I have no idea where you are, Dirk. And so as co-chair, and today I'm acting MC for the day, so I'll be making the introductions and I'll be taking the blame for what doesn't go right, and hopefully appropriately sharing the credit for what does go right. So I'll be introducing all of the sessions, and I'll be introducing our 2 keynote speakers today. The first of which I'll introduce in a few minutes. Although I think I just actually forgot one of the important points. We have a safety share. We have John from the hotel, who's going to give us a couple of minutes to help us stay safe. I apologize for making you wait, John.
No worries,
sir. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. In the event of an emergency, you will hear the fire alarm audibles kick on. All right, just after those audibles silence, you will hear a series of speeches. Please listen carefully to what is being said. In the event of an evacuation, that speech will tell you to please evacuate the building. If we have to evacuate the building, we need to split the room in 2. This half of the room, please exit out those 2 exits, go directly across the hall, and you will find an exit that will take you downstairs and outside to the west parking lot. Once outside, please walk quickly all the way across the west parking lot. This half of the room, you have 6 exits on this side of the building. All right, go out those exits, straight down. You've got the escalators, you've got the stairs. Around the corner, you will find a series of exits that will let you out again at the west parking lot. All right, from that point right there, if you cannot, for whatever reason, make it out those exits, please go straight down the hallway. You will find a safe room. This safe room is designed for an extra 30 to 35 minutes of air in the event of a fire. That gives the fire department enough time to reach you. If you are in the room next to or behind me and we have to evacuate, please go directly out the back doors. You will see a set of stairs to your right. Take those stairs down. Past those stairs, you will see a series of exit doors. Those exit doors will lead you out onto Nugget Avenue. From that point, please turn left and go straight east. If you have any questions, Nugget Security's around. They'll be more than happy to assist. Thank you, and please enjoy your conference.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you.
And thanks to the Nugget, who have been great hosts and have fed us pretty darn well. I'm going to have to go on a fast after starting tomorrow. So we have two great keynote speakers today. The second of which after lunch is going to be Eric Schwamberger, who I've had the pleasure of interacting with. I haven't had any relations with him for some years, but years ago he used to live in Reno, and I interacted with him and got to know his wife a bit in areas of wildlife management, because that's one of her areas. And I was so happy to see that we had him this year as a keynote, and I got to spend a little bit of time yesterday kind of catching up on the old days. And so I'm just really excited he's going to be here. He's the vice president of the International Cyanide Management Institute. And so I'm really looking forward to his talk. But he's after lunch. And I wanted, before I get to our keynote this morning, I want to thank our sponsors and our exhibitors. These conferences aren't funded solely by the registration fees. Without the exhibitors and the sponsors, none of these conferences would work. And that's certainly true here. So we thank you very much. And I also want to thank all of the speakers for the week and for the short course, the technical committee that put in an enormous amount of work, vetting the papers, inviting people to present or to prepare papers. That's a big undertaking. And this conference especially, which has been 3.5 years in the making with basically 2 false starts. So it's been an interesting exercise. So thanks for everybody who did that. And I want to thank C3 Alliance, which are the organizers for this, which I think have done a fantastic job. And it's been a pleasure getting to know them over the last, 3.5 years, and they've been very patient with us. We had an early patron sponsor who was very generous, and to a great extent is the reason that this came off, because you have to start funding things before you actually start collecting registration fees. And that's Victoria Gold Corp. And I've got to know Victoria Gold Corp a bit through their Eagle Gold Mine up in the Yukon, where I've had the pleasure and honor of engaging with that project a few times over the years. It's the only operating producing gold heap leach in the Yukon. And it's now, I think this is its 4th year of gold production. So that's nice to see. We have a video from them. We also have their COO, who's been here, I think, all week. I haven't seen him yet today, but Mark Aranto, there he is back there. Mark, a personal thank you for you personally showing up and for engaging with a number of people and spending, being very generous with your time with me. Thank you. And for Victoria for sponsoring. And we have a short video from Victoria. So can we cue that? Are you guys set up? Fantastic.
Victoria Gold's Eagle Gold Mine, located in central Yukon, Canada, produces gold doré bars from a conventional open pit heap leach mine. The process includes blasting in the open pit, loading and hauling the ore for 3-stage crushing, conveying the crushed ore overland to the in-valley heap leach facility, heap leaching, recovering the gold in the gold recovery plant, where the gold is then heated and poured into doré bars, which are sold to a refinery and shipped off-site. The current life of mine is 11 years, but with the ore body extending at depth and regional exploration, management is confident the mine will run plus 20 years and produce over 6 million ounces of gold. The Eagle open pit is situated on a hillside, and when completed, will measure greater than 2,000 meters long, 1,000 meters wide, and 800 meters deep. In the open pit, rock is blasted and then loaded into haul trucks. Gold-bearing ore is hauled to the primary crusher. Non-gold bearing material is hauled to a waste rock storage area. The Eagle Gold Mine fleet includes 2 Cat 6040 shovels and 11 Cat 785D haul trucks. Each shovel bucket can hold 40 tons of material, and each haul truck can hold over 3 scoops or 150 tons. The haul trucks travel at approximately 20 kilometers per hour from the pit to the primary crusher and unload into the dump pocket of the crusher. The primary crusher is a gyratory crusher that crushes the ore boulders to approximately 12 centimeters in size, about the size of a grapefruit. From the primary crusher, the crushed ore is conveyed to the secondary and tertiary crushers. The secondary and tertiary crushers further crush the ore to a target size of 10 millimeters, about the size of a grapefruit seed. The crushed ore travels on a covered overland conveyor, approximately 1.5 kilometers, to the heap leach facility. The heap leach facility is located in a valley that has a protective double liner installed. Crushed gold-bearing ore is stacked onto the lined heap leach facility via a series of mobile conveyors that stack the ore in 12-meter lifts or layers. 1 million tons of ore will be processed each month. A network of drip emitter tubing is installed on each layer. The tubing delivers a weak cyanide solution, which percolates down through the ore, dissolving the gold. During the freezing months, the tubes are buried 1 meter below surface. The gold-laden or pregnant solution is then pumped from the heap leach facility to the gold recovery plant. In the gold recovery plant, the gold is extracted from the solution, and the resulting barren solution is recycled and used on the heap leach. The gold is heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius in the smelter and poured into gold doré bars, weighing approximately 1,000 ounces. The doré bars produced at the Eagle Gold Mine contain gold and some silver. The doré bars are shipped to the Canadian Mint for final refining to 99.99% gold.
Well, thank you for that. And again, Mark, thank you for that. And send my thanks in regards to John when you're back home. I very much appreciate your participation here. And I've also very much appreciate having some involvement, very limited involvement at Eagle, and I found that the people on site to be just really great to work with. So now I have the pleasure of introducing our morning keynote speaker. I have some bio notes here for him, but I think I'm going to skip that. His biography is on the Whova app, if you've downloaded that, and all of his kind of amazing details are there. The short version is he's been an independent consultant for the last 13 years, and before that, he had an amazing career with Freeport and with Consolidated Goldfields. But on a personal note, I've only recently met John in person, but I've spent but I've spent most of my career crossing paths with his work. And at this point in my career, maybe the last 10 years or so, most of my work is project review and troubleshooting or some combination of those two. And what I've come to learn when I first show up on a new assignment and I start going through the documents, if I find some of John's work in there, I know the project's going to go better. My review is going to be easier and more positive because his influence is both powerful and positive. And if you want to see the details behind how he became such a powerhouse in our industry, they're on the app. So a few years ago at the Heap Leach Solutions in Vancouver in 2013, he told a story about Jack and Diane, which got rave reviews. So this morning, he's going to recap that story and tell you part 2 of that story. And I'm very excited to see that. And so his talk is entitled Managing Expectations, Jack and Diane, part 2. And with that, I would like you to welcome John Marston,